English winners, if you're moving to an English-speaking country, you're probably wondering, how am I going to get the money to pay for all my necessities of life? You know, my food, shelter, water, stuff like that. And there's many ways to make money. And most of them are probably familiar to you working in any other country. But I'm going to go over some terms just so you get used to the vocabulary, okay? So in this video, I'm going to tell you about the ways people get paid. So the first one is tips. Tips are very common in service industries like being a waiter at a restaurant or maybe a taxi driver. Of course, it's called a fare then, and it's a little bit more formalized. Also, delivery drivers rely very heavily on tips. A lot of their money comes from tips. And a tip is a voluntary amount of money that a customer chooses to give the person serving them. So you go to a restaurant and the waiter brings you your food. If they do a good job, you know, they bring the right food, they're fast, they pay attention to your needs, you might give them a big tip. If they're slow or they don't care or they don't treat you with respect, maybe you give them a bad tip or none at all. That's a lower amount of money. And so someone who works for tips does better when they serve a lot of people and they serve those people very well. And people who rely on tips and make very little money either don't serve enough people, or the people they serve, they are serving them very poorly and the quality is not good. Let's go to the next one. So the next one is called day labor. You will see day labor most commonly in places like construction, but I've also done some day labor in an office environment. There's different employment agencies in big cities that will do this. The idea is you do some work and then at the end of the day you get paid. It's just one day's work, one day's pay. Now this pay may be lower than what you might get at a regular job that you show up to every day. And it's not as consistent. You don't have 5 or 6 days a week of day labor. It's usually 2 days here, maybe one day you can't find anything, then 3 days you're working someplace else. But day labor is a good way to bring some money in when you are between jobs. Next one, hourly. Now, hourly wages are the most common. That you get paid an hourly rate, say $10 an hour or $15 an hour, and then that is multiplied by how many hours you're working that week, and that is your paycheck. And most people who work jobs get paid on an hourly pay scale. For instance, $15 an hour over 2 40-hour work weeks equals about $1,200 minus taxes. And so it kind of works like that. Next, salary. Now, most people in middle management or higher positions of leadership, or even just some regular jobs, it's a salary position. And that means you will get paid the same amount of money whether you work a lot of hours or fewer hours. And so someone might work 60 hours one week, they'll get $4,000. They might work 35 hours the next week, $4,000. A lot of contract work for road cleaning and stuff like that works the same way. If there's no snow, they get paid the same amount as if it snows every day. So that's a salary position. Let's go to the next one. So the other one is commission, and commission is usually found in sales jobs. So if you sell something, you get paid. But here's the rub. If you don't sell anything, you don't get paid. So you can do a lot of work and still not make any money. But if you're very good at selling, or maybe you just happen to find a product people really like, then you can earn more money than what you'd get in a salary position or day labor or hourly. So sales can be a very good avenue towards becoming wealthy, especially if you're really good at it. And I recommend everybody at least try it and educate themselves to know the basics of selling. not just to know when you are being sold to, but to also be better when you persuade other people and influence them to make decisions. So the sweet spot, of course, if you're an employee, is commission plus salary. That means if you're having a bad week, you're not going to be hungry, right? You're still going to get some money, but you're not going to be rich. You still have to put forward the effort. You still need to generate results. So salary plus commission gives you a little safety, but at the same time, there's that upside where you can get paid a lot if you do really well. In my opinion, that's the best if you're an employee. And then also, if you're a business owner, technically it's commission sales. If nobody buys anything, you don't get paid. So if you're going into business, get used to that level of commitment, okay? Let's go to the next form of getting paid. So bonuses. Everybody loves bonuses. Even in game shows, they use the phrase bonus round because it's a good thing. So bonus means extra money. It can be at the end of a quarter, every 3 months, or at the end of every year. Now, sometimes these bonuses are given depending on how well a company does or how well you as an individual worker do. So high performance usually means a higher bonus, and lower performance usually means little to no bonus at all. Now, most places I've worked at don't offer bonuses, but it's nice to know that some places do, and if you can find that, more power to you. Bonuses are great. Capital gains. Capital gains sounds fancy, but all it means is you buy something, and then later you sell it at a higher price, and that extra money is capital gains. This happens in stock investing, it can happen in real estate, it can happen on anything that you buy and then sell at a higher rate. The good thing about capital gains is in places like America, usually you get taxed lower, so you pay less taxes, and that can be a very good thing. So if you can move from being an employee to earning things through capital gains, that is a step in the right direction if you want to do really well with your money. But it takes some education, so you have to educate yourself. Let's go to the next one. So, residual income. This is common in network marketing companies. I know Herbalife is very big in some parts of the world. Amway is another big one, but there's lots of network marketing systems. And residual income is just a fancy way of saying commission. But this commission, the money you get when you sell something, is paid to you every time somebody continues to order. And sometimes people are on a program where they'll order something every month, and every time they do, you get paid. It's a great way to separate the time you put into work from the amount of money you earn. This creates a situation where you can work a smaller number of hours and earn a higher amount of money. But this takes interpersonal skills, it takes knowing how to sell, and it does take a lot of hard work, especially in the beginning. Possibly more hard work in the beginning than a regular salaried employee might do. So keep that in mind, but residual income can be very good if you can get it. So dividends. Dividends are like a bonus. It's money paid to you based on performance, usually the performance of a company that you put money into, that you are investing in. And dividends in publicly traded companies in the stock market usually kick out every 3 months, so every business quarter. Those are good. It can only help you, so dividends are great. If you can get those, do it. And lastly, this one's more for creatives and inventors and people who make things that a lot of people can buy. They're called royalties. Now, if you write a book, you can get royalties. If you invent something, you can get royalties. Maybe you write a song or make a video that millions of people watch. Those are royalties. And so you make something, and then if you have the rights to earn money from that, called a copyright, then whenever people buy it and you own the rights, then money comes to you. The more people buy, the more higher your royalty check gets. That's a very good way to separate time from money as well. But most inventions do not sell well. most songs are not hits, and most books are not bestsellers. So you have to keep that in mind going in. There is a little bit of luck to it, but at the same time, there's a lot of skill. And if you play the numbers means do the same activity, maybe in slightly different ways, many, many, many times, it increases your opportunity to earn royalties. So that's the last one. If you liked this video on the ways you can earn money, please subscribe down below. You'll get more videos. I have a listening playlist over here and a pronunciation one over here where I am putting out a video on syllable stresses, and I think you'll like that. So check them out. Until then, keep on winning, English winners, and I'll see you later with another video. Bye now.